They told you strength is something you show, to speak louder, to stand taller, to take up more space than the man beside you. But that's not strength. That's theater. Real power doesn't perform. It observes. It waits. It hides in plain sight, silent and patient, while others burn their energy trying to be seen. The world confuses noise with authority, movement with progress, visibility with control. The loudest man in the room is rarely the most dangerous. He's simply the most insecure. True strength doesn't need to announce itself because it already knows the outcome. From the moment you were born, the world conditioned you to seek validation, to prove your worth to people who were just as lost as you. They told you to fight for recognition, to defend your ego every time it was challenged. But every attempt to prove your power is an admission that you doubt it. The more you try to convince others you are strong, the more they can sense your fear of being seen as weak. That's why the most feared rulers in history spoke the least. Their silence wasn't shyness, it was calculation. When others rush to fill the air, the man who says nothing becomes the one everyone listens to. The less people know about you, the more they fear what you might be capable of. To play weak feels unnatural at first. The pride in you wants to fight back, to correct every disrespect, to remind them of who you are. But in that reaction lies their control over you. The man who cannot remain still under attack has already lost the battle. The man who can pretend to lose, to bow his head, to appear harmless, wields a weapon the impulsive will never understand. Because when you seem harmless, people relax. They reveal things. They stop guarding themselves. They show their weaknesses, their arrogance, their patterns. And by the time they realize you were never weak, you already know how to dismantle them. It's a strange kind of power, invisible, almost unmeasurable. You don't dominate by force, you dominate by patience. You let them speak, let them boast, let them underestimate you until they mistake your calm for incapacity. Then when they are most certain of victory, you move, not with emotion, not with vengeance, but with precision. Power isn't about being stronger, it's about making strength irrelevant. Those who roar the loudest burn out first. Those who wait in silence decide when the noise ends. There's a dark elegance in being underestimated. It liberates you from the competition everyone else is trapped in. You stop needing to win their approval because they no longer see you as a rival. You become invisible, and invisibility is freedom. They think you are soft, harmless, insignificant. Good. Let them. Because while they measure each other's strength, you're already shaping the ground beneath their feet. Visibility kills strategy. The moment they can predict you, they can prepare for you. So let them waste their strength proving they have it. Then, when the smoke clears and the noise fades, rule what's left. You never rule by showing power. You rule by making them show theirs first. Perception is not reality. It's manipulation wrapped in instinct. Every human interaction begins before a single word is spoken. The mind scans posture, tone, stillness, confidence. It categorizes you instantly, strong or weak, safe or dangerous, worthy or invisible. People don't see you. They see what their fears and desires allow them to see. And that blindness is where power hides. The clever man never corrects their assumptions. He lets them drown in them, because perception isn't truth. It's theater. And in theater, the one who writes the script controls the stage. The weak rush to prove themselves. They defend, they explain, they justify. But explanation is surrender. The moment you try to convince someone of your value, you hand them the authority to decide it. A true strategist never corrects perception. He weaponizes it. When they think you're harmless, you walk through guarded doors unnoticed. When they think you're fragile, they drop their armor around you. That's when you see everything: ambition, vanity, greed, laid bare. The underestimated man becomes the most informed man in the room. Humans are built to ignore what doesn't threaten them. It's an ancient instinct. Pay attention to predators, not prey. So if you can appear harmless, you become invisible. And the invisible are the only ones free to move. The predator who hides his teeth outlives the one who bares them. That's why the calm man unsettles people, because calmness is unreadable. They can't place you. They crave your reaction, your tone, your emotion, something to decode you. But you give them nothing. That silence becomes unbearable. It's not weakness, it's gravity. The man who doesn't react bends others around his stillness. They second-guess themselves, start over-explaining, revealing too much just to fill the silence. They think your quiet means confusion, but it's calculation. And the longer they talk, the more you learn. Power shifts not when you speak, but when you don't. People fear unpredictability, and there's nothing more unpredictable than restraint. The loud man is easy to read. The silent one is infinite. To master perception, you must master stillness. It's not just about what you show. It's about what you hide. Control your micro-reactions. Smile when you're insulted. Pause when they expect anger. Agree when they expect argument. Each act of restraint feeds your legend. They begin to wonder what's behind your silence, what you know that they don't. That uncertainty grows until your calm becomes intimidation itself. In time, you'll see the truth. Appearing weak is not submission. It's camouflage. It's how the wise walk through a world of ego without getting touched. They will underestimate you, speak over you, dismiss you. Let them. Because when you stop needing to be seen, you start controlling what others see. And when they finally realize you were never weak, it will already be too late. Perception is the first battlefield of power. He who controls the illusion controls the truth. Appear less. Control more. To appear powerless is to fight your own instincts. Every fiber of your being screams to defend yourself, to prove you are not the weak one they think you are. But the man who seeks to prove himself has already lost. Power demands stillness. It demands you swallow your pride while others feed theirs. Most men cannot do this. Their ego burns too hot. They need to be recognized, to be respected, to be seen. And so they reveal their cards one by one until there's nothing left to protect. The discipline of appearing powerless begins when you stop reacting to disrespect, when you let their arrogance become your shield. This isn't cowardice, it's calculation. You let them underestimate you, mock you, even pity you. Every insult becomes a brick in the wall of illusion you build around yourself. The fool believes he is winning when you do not fight back. He mistakes silence for weakness, composure for surrender. What he doesn't see is that every outburst, every attempt to dominate you, exposes his inner chaos. You, on the other hand, gather data. You watch how they behave when they think they've already won. And in their victory, they show you where to strike. True power feels humiliating before it feels strong. You will sit in rooms where men test you, where they speak over you, where your restraint feels like self-betrayal. But every second you hold your composure, you earn control. Every time you resist the urge to prove something, you gain something greater. Mystery. Power thrives on mystery because mystery breeds fear. The moment they think they fully understand you, you cease to be dangerous. So remain unreadable. Let them think you're nothing special. Let them relax. Let them make the first move. The weak man reacts because his emotions own him. The disciplined man waits because he owns his emotions. The longer you delay your response, the deeper your control grows. Your patience becomes a trap they walk into willingly. They think you're passive, but you're not. You're precise. You're choosing the exact moment when a single action will undo everything they built on false confidence. This is the law of delayed power. The quieter your rise, the sharper your strike. Pain is the teacher here. You will feel it. The urge to speak, to correct, to retaliate. You will feel the sting of being misunderstood, of being doubted. But this pain is not your punishment. It's your training. The man who can endure insult without losing his clarity becomes unstoppable. Most people seek validation. You will seek timing. They fight for visibility. You will fight for control. The discipline of appearing powerless isn't about pretending to be less. It's about being so confident in your power that you no longer need to prove it. When you stop performing strength, strength becomes natural. When you stop reacting to every challenge, challenges lose their meaning. Let them believe you are powerless. Let them waste their energy trying to dominate a ghost. And when the time comes, when they are certain you pose no threat, that's when you remind them that calm is not weakness. It's precision disguised as peace. Submission is a word most men fear because they confuse it with defeat. But the wise know there is power hidden inside it, quiet, invisible, and devastating. To submit strategically is to step back, while others rush forward blindly. It's the art of letting your opponent feel in control, while you quietly rearrange the ground beneath his feet. It's not about surrendering your will. It's about disguising it so perfectly that no one sees it coming. You lower your guard, not because you've lost, but because you want them close enough to expose themselves. When you bow to prideful men, they stop guarding their weakness. Their confidence blinds them. They reveal their desires, their fears, their plans, all while believing they've conquered you. They mistake your silence for obedience, your patience for inferiority. They start to relax in their illusion of dominance. Born into systems built long before his awareness, he reacts instead of acts. He defends instead of designs. His emotions make his choices for him. Anger when ignored, pride when challenged, fear when uncertain. But the transformation from pawn to player begins the moment you stop reacting to the world and start studying it. When you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "Who benefits from this happening?" That shift from emotion to observation is where strategy is born. To evolve, you must kill the version of yourself that needs recognition. The pawn fights for approval. The player fights for position. The pawn fears loss. The player uses loss to advance. Every setback becomes information. Every betrayal becomes data. The player no longer sees life as a battle of feelings, but as a board of moves. He knows that control doesn't come from force. It comes from foresight. The pawn reacts to what is. The player moves toward what will be. This transformation is quiet and brutal. It demands that you detach from the illusions that once gave you comfort. fairness, morality, even belonging. The truth is simple. People follow power, not goodness. Respect is not given to those who deserve it. It's given to those who demand it through presence, consistency, and calm precision. Once you stop playing emotionally, you begin to see what others can't. That most people's decisions are predictable. They reveal themselves through desire. You stop being manipulated because you no longer need anything from anyone. That's when the game shifts. To become the player, you must master invisibility, not literal disappearance, strategic invisibility. You stop oversharing. You stop announcing plans. You act without broadcasting. You execute without noise. The world becomes a mirror, reflecting only what you allow it to see. This is how influence begins, not with power displays, but with quiet certainty. The man who moves without being tracked owns the map. The pawn chases validation. The player creates tension. He doesn't need to prove himself because he knows most people are still trapped in the proving stage. His silence unnerves them. His calm confuses them. His absence makes them chase him. This is the paradox of control. The more detached you are, the more gravity you possess. People sense when a man has no emotional leash on his neck. It's not arrogance, it's freedom, and freedom commands attention. When you reach this stage, life slows down. You stop reacting to noise and start seeing patterns. Every conversation, every decision, every emotion becomes a move on the board. You start asking different questions. Not, what should I do? But, what outcome do I want to create? You think in consequences, not impulses. You learn to weaponize silence to direct perception, to time your words like blades. And one day, without even realizing it, you look around and understand. You are no longer a piece in someone else's game. You are the one moving the pieces. You've become the architect of tension, the quiet designer of results. The world hasn't changed. You have. You've crossed the invisible line between those who react to power and those who generate it. The pawn has been reborn as the player, and once you reach that state, there is no going back. The hidden hand moves where eyes do not. Every system, every hierarchy, every circle of influence has one. The unseen architect who shapes direction without stepping into the light. The powerful you recognize are rarely the true players. They are symbols, masks, extensions of quieter minds. History remembers kings, but it's the shadow beside the throne that writes their story. The true ruler doesn't crave recognition. He craves control. And control dies the moment it's exposed. This is the law of the hidden hand. To lead without appearing to influence without ever demanding obedience. The masses need faces to follow, heroes to worship, villains to hate. The strategist needs only silence. He builds narratives through suggestion, not command. He doesn't fight for dominance. He designs the frame in which others compete for it. The greatest illusion of power is the illusion that someone else holds it. Those who rule from behind the curtain understand human nature too deeply to seek the stage. The spotlight is a trap. It gives applause, but it also gives accountability. Attention makes you predictable. It limits your moves. But when you stay invisible, you are untouchable. You can plant ideas in minds that believe they thought them. You can steer outcomes while appearing uninvolved. You can make others believe they're leading when they're merely following your rhythm. The hidden hand operates on patience. He speaks rarely, but when he does, his words echo. Longer than the speeches of others, he acts sparingly, But every gesture is a seed that grows into inevitability. People mistake his silence for absence until they realize every choice they've made led them exactly where he wanted them to go. That's when fear replaces arrogance, because nothing terrifies a man more than discovering he's been dancing to music he never heard. You don't have to be rich or royal to live by this law. It applies in business, relationships, every interaction that breathes hierarchy. The less you reveal, the more you can influence. The more you let others believe they're choosing, the deeper you carve your control. When someone feels ownership over their decisions, they stop resisting the hand that guided them there. This is psychological power, the kind that builds empires without soldiers. But the hidden hand doesn't just move others. It disciplines itself. It never indulges in pride. Pride is noise, and noise breaks invisibility. The strategist knows that the more control he gains, the less he can display it. Authority must always remain a rumor, never a confession. Power that must be declared is already dying. To master this law is to exist between presence and absence, known enough to be respected, distant enough to remain untouchable. Let others chase glory, it blinds them. You'll move in silence and direct their hunger. Influence that cannot be traced, cannot be destroyed. And when the stage collapses, the hidden hand remains. The architect who never needed applause because he designed the theater itself. Power always asks for payment. The invisible throne looks flawless from a distance, quiet, untouchable, immune to chaos. But every shadowed crown has a cost. When you learn to move unseen, you begin to disappear from the warmth of ordinary life. You can control people, but you can no longer connect with them. You can predict their motives, but it kills the innocence of trust. The strategist who rules from the dark learns quickly. Mastery isolates. Influence replaces intimacy, and silence, once a weapon, becomes a cage. The more control you gain, the less you can reveal. You can't vent anger, because emotion exposes weakness. You can't seek comfort, because vulnerability invites leverage. You learn to keep your victories quiet and your wounds invisible. Even in love, you hesitate, because to be understood is to be mapped, and to be mapped is to be controlled. So you remain guarded, distant, watching life as if from behind glass. You get what you wanted, peace without threat. But it's a peace colder than you imagined. The throne in shadows offers no applause. No one will thank you for your restraint, for your precision, for your silence. They'll never know the wars you fought inside to maintain it. They'll never see the moments you wanted to speak, to react, to feel, and didn't. Control protects you, but it also cuts you off from everything uncontrolled, everything human. This is the paradox of the invisible throne. The higher you ascend in awareness, the lonelier the view becomes. Every strategist eventually faces a choice: to stay untouchable or to return to the noise, to keep control or to taste life again, raw and uncertain. Most never return. The hunger for control becomes identity. They start to confuse distance with safety, and safety with meaning. But even the strongest must face the truth. No power comes without loss. To rule unseen means to live unseen. To influence without being known means to die without being understood. Yet for those who can bear that solitude, there is a strange kind of peace. You stop expecting the world to be fair. You stop needing it to notice you. You move through it like a ghost among flames, calm, decisive, detached. You've outgrown chaos. You've become its observer. And though the world may never recognize your rule, it will still move according to your quiet designs. That is the final lesson. Control protects, but it also isolates. The invisible throne stands high, but it is cold. And if you choose to sit on it, remember what it demands: your emotions, your comfort, your belonging. The price of being untouchable is being alone at the top. So play weak when you must. Hide your strength when it serves you. Manipulate perception. Master silence. Control the board. But never forget the cost of the game you chose. Because when the strong finally kneel, they won't know who taught them to. But you will.